around as he entered the paddock here, and he's a little bit on his toes, so probably a negative, I'd say, on his debut.
Just in behind him, two handlers, Code of Conduct, very interesting horse.
Yeah, 33-1, made a lovely debut against winners at Newbury. The sharper test today, that might be the slight concern. That was a mile on soft ground. Back in trip today is a slight question mark for me.
We'll just drop two horses back. Horse in the red blanket with the initials WJH. That's William Haggis's horse, and just to actually finish last on debut.
Yeah, showed very, very little at Newmarket. Now the ground was on the soft side. Maybe that was why, because there's been a little bit of money around for this horse this morning. Down was a 2-year-old winner over 7 furlongs and later listed place, so may step up today.
Just in behind that, number 1, that's the green rug with the beige trim. That's the top one, Cannigat.
Nice big strong type by Zoffany, this horse, as usual from Archie Watson's. Knew its job on debut, had a wide stall but still got to the front. May not improve that much from run 1 to 2, but a nice type.
Get back to the horse with the white trim, blue rug. That is number 5 on the right track.
Yeah, Cheek Beast is on for third start for Mark Usher. I thought it ran okay on stable debut. Half rubber to 6-time winner Basin Hill. A shocker last time. The sound of surface needs to improve them.
There's a long gap back, but we want to go 3 horses back, and we'll pass number 6, Power of Time. We'll pass number 2, Code of Conduct, who you got a chance to see before, and we'll come back to the horse in the grey rug, and that will be your favourite, number 3, Establish.
Yeah, form choice. Much improved on second start at Newbury. Raced pretty keenly throughout and just lost in a bit of a sprint battle. Really, really good form. Nice draw to get a bit of cover from stall 2. Sets a standard and the one to beat.
Okay, so you have seen them. He's a short price favourite, Establish, and we're just about set for this next. This Matchbook Stairs maiden could be some promising types of the future.
So runners will be making their way down to the start shortly. Got some news about tomorrow for you, that Fairy House is abandoned. Fairy House off tomorrow. We've got Exeter here on Racing TV. We were due to have Fairy House, but I'm afraid they've had an awful lot of rain, so they've had to abandon that meeting tomorrow. Establish 5 to 4, Code of Conduct 11 to 4, Power of Time 9 to 2, 6 to 1 Cannigat, St Just is 16 to 1, Graham and 50s on the right track 66 to 1.
So runners heading down towards the start then. Establishes the market leader 5 to 4, though there is opposition. We can see Establish on track. This was at Newbury last time up for the Son of Australia, and difficult to know exactly what to make of the form. I think the 5th horse further back is rated 70 if you're using that as any kind of marker, but he went to win his race. Yeah,
it was very green and slow to stride on debut at Ascot, so on this occasion they were keen to get him out and get him travelling. I just thought he was doing a little bit too much off a steady pace in the early stages. They've really sprinted from the final furlong and a half, and he's just got outpointed, but I thought it was a really good run, pulled well clear of the 3rd, and on the weather on a sounder surface, probably get a bit of cover maybe from stall 2. Could be a nice type.
That's the one horse who's actually just come into the paddock. That's the only horse we didn't show you, and that is 4 Grey Eminence. So you could follow him. Jockey Tom Arcon's over on the far side, so he's going to get the leg up shortly.
Yeah, son of Outstrip, half rubber to 4 winners. Didn't shape too badly on the debut at Doncaster, beaten 9 lengths into 7th place. Needs to improve, and there's probably some better types he's taken on today, but it could be nice for the future.
The last heading round was just sort of shaking her head, saying sorry to Tom Arcon for whatever reason, but he's up and away, and he'll join the others out on track now. Grey Eminence, who's kind of got sprinter miler pedigree. There's Establish. He'd probably stay a bit further. I think it's fair to say that the dam was a sort of 1 over 7 furlongs, but her relatives, middle distance horses, 10 and even 12 furlong, and with the Australia angle, it'll be interesting to see how far he ends up getting.
Yeah, you'd imagine so. These races are designed for horses that are more than middle distance prospects for next year. Again, it was a little bit keen at Newbury, and we're just seeing going down to the start, taking a hold for jockey Jack Mitchell, firmly under control, but quite a free going type. That's it. From stall 2, I'd like to see him get a bit of cover. Whether Jack will be able to against some quite green types, he might just know his job a little bit too much on 3rd start, but sets a standard.
Well, you often get that, don't you? The horses who think they're faster than they are, or are faster than their pedigrees are, or just ones who need to learn about racing and learn about being a racehorse.
Yeah, it's all experience, isn't it? And he was extremely green on his debut, didn't know anything at Ascot. He was much more revved up last time at Newbury, and that just might be a slight negative today, purely because code of conduct, him and his debut, he walked out the stalls and was a little bit slow to stride. He might sharpen up a lot this time and be able to go from the front.
Well, it's good we've seen them side by side, because the horse on the left there, Royal Silks, we can see that performance at Newbury, 5th, and there was loads of good horses in that race, notably, of course, Tritonic, who came home in front, but the 2nd and 4th highly rated horses, the 3rd, a John Gosden runner, you know the talent they've got, and it's a terrific pedigree as well for code of conduct.
Yeah, 33 to 1 shot, taking on 5 previous winners. The fact that Roger Charlton ran him in that race rather than a Northern Maiden suggests he's a nice type, and he just was a little bit clueless really. When the race got going, he kind of got a little bit lost mid-race, but he stayed on very nicely, not given a hard time on debut. Now that was over a mile on soft ground. We are stepping back a little bit in trip here today. The half-brother Desert Caravan, he's only actually run there once, but he made a winning debut at Newcastle on an all-weather surface. The dam's lovely Aga Khan family. She's a half-sister to Sindar, so proper staying pedigree, and he's only going to improve with time. I just worry, especially seeing him going under the start, Established is a much sharper type and is much more of a now horse. You'd think the Queen's horse would improve nicely from 2 to 3. Yes,
I think this is it's going to be an informative race, one way or t'other. Archie Watson's run has just gone through there. That's a Canagat who ran it to Chelmsford on debut, not beaten far at all. So Michael Stout horse was in second that day. The winner just below, I think, a mark of 80. So was there a bit of substance about this? Lots to like?
Yeah, it wasn't a bad race, was it, at Chelmsford? As usual, we're at halfway point. Archie Watson's 2-year-olds in front. But at the start, he was on the wider stall on the outside, and he actually dwelt slightly and still managed to make his way to the front. Just left a gap up the inside for the winner to take. That was a 77 rated, always fearless. He surprised me. He's quite a nice big type in the paddock this son of Zoffany, because the half-sister Cassima, there wasn't a great deal to her, and she was only a low-grade 60 horse. But I think he'll improve. The others might just be a little bit classier at this stage in their careers. But you know, with an Archie Watson 2-year-old, he'll be out the stalls and probably our front runner.
And at this stage of their careers, it's who's flourishing in the shortest space of time, isn't it? That's the key. Or who's just sharper, given their respective and relative pedigrees at this stage of their careers. And that's the fascinating thing about this particular contest. What sort of performance do you think is going to take, given we've talked a little bit about the ratings and some of the horses surrounding the elements of the form that we've seen so far? What sort of number do you think is going to take to win this?
I'll say 85, 88, that kind of number. I think Canagat could well improve slightly. We'll run to about 78. I expect the winner will probably be 3 lengths in front of him. Power of Time is interesting. They paid a lot of money for this horse, £900,000. Just seeing him enter the paddock with the headgear on, he was looking around. I can see why he's got first-time cheek pieces on debut, which isn't really what you want to see. Hopefully he's a bit more straightforward in the race, but it's a bit of a watching brief for Power of Time.
Okay, so last couple to go forward, including the Queen's horse. So let's rejoin Mark.
And Power of Time is getting right up on his hind legs, coming out onto the horse, walking out onto the track. Gave Adam Kirby quite a difficult ride coming out. Last one moving forward now, Grey Eminence to complete the lineup. They're in the gate. And they're off. Not a great start for Established. He was the last one to break the line, although he's right on the scene and they're very tightly grouped through the very early stages. Towards the inside, Canagat being taken on by Grey Eminence, and around the outside on the right track. On the right track out wide now has claimed the lead. Canagat a little keen against the rail, racing in second. Grey Eminence, and wider still St. Just. Then Established, who's another one who's straining the reins, with Power of Time on the inside, and the back marker is Code of Conduct as they go into that far turn. On the right track leads by half a length to in second Grey Eminence. Racing in third Canagat. 3 deep on the track is St. Just. Between those two is Established, and still the back two. A Code of Conduct is up on the outside of Power of Time. They've gone through halfway, just over 3 furlongs to go. On the right track still leads by a neck to in second Grey Eminence as they made the turn in. St. Just out wide is in third. Canagat is in fourth. Established looking for a little bit of racing room. Down the wide outside, Code of Conduct now begins to roll, and Power of Time is just the back marker. Inside the final quarter mile, and Canagat has now moved through on the inside to claim the lead over Go the outside, Code of Conduct. Still there is Great Eminence. Established is staying on. They've got a half furlong to go. Canagat's lead is being reduced by Code of Conduct and by Established as they race up towards the line. Canagat holding on. Canagat wins. Code of Conduct in second and back in third. Over the line was Established.
Canagat it is who turns that bronze into gold today, and he's just a little too sharp for Code of Conduct, who's run a cracker in defeat, and Established, who didn't quite get the run of things from start to finish. He's run very respectably, placed again back in third. Archie Watson and David Egan with the winner. Canagat it is.
Yeah, messy race, wasn't it? And Canagat set out to make the running, but then David Egan actually took a pull and let a couple of the outsiders stride on. They've gone slow, they've sprinted inside the final 3 furlongs. That's found out Code of Conduct. Established too keen at Newbury last time. They were keen to get a lead today. It's just doing a little bit too much in the early stages. Frustrating, I think, for Established. But just here, I've seen the Archie Watson horse make the run in. Popped out nicely, like the Archie Watson 2-year-olds do, like he did at Chelmsford last time. But then David didn't want to go on. He wanted to get a lead. And it's left to the outsiders, the Mark Usher horse on the right track, Grey Eminence. They've come across, but they are absolutely walking, which is not helping Jack Mitchell. He was keen to get a lead, but in a novice race where you've got a lot of inexperienced horses, it's not easy to do when your horse had a couple of runs and wants to run. And it's just not worked out for him. Back down to 7, the Queen's horse, he's relaxed lovely. It's just all happened a little bit too quick when they did sprint. He'll be the nicest horse for me, I think, next year. I think he's going to improve plenty, the Queen's horse.
It just shows you that we often concentrate largely on the finish of races, and yet the start can be crucial, and it was the start that arguably cost Established today to an extent.
Yeah, most definitely, and just the way the race has been run, it's not suited Established at all. They've gone so slow, just hasn't settled. Has then actually become outpaced when the whole field's quickened. David Egan's always going very nicely on Canagat. The cutaway's come, he's quickened up nicely. I thought the Queen's horse might just keep on going, Code of Conduct. Turns to Uni, dropping back to 7, it's just a little bit too sharp for him, especially with a steady pace, but he's really hit the line running. And Established, fair play to him, has actually picked up again and stayed on to the line. I think Archie Watson's horse has stolen it a little bit from the front end, and he may only be the 3rd best horse in the race, but nice big type nonetheless, and he's got a good attitude. He's quite easy, you can do what you want with him in a race.
Yeah, I think Code of Conduct's run a screamer there. The trip is counted against him. He's got to stay